Hey everyone, Coach Patrick here, Endurance Nation, back with a super duper special episode, finally ready. It is March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. What a coincidence to roll out our brand new 2024 Ironman plans, also known as full plans, for a variety of legal reasons over our 20 years of being in the triathlon space. And super excited to talk to you about what these plans are and the changes that we made. For those of you who've been paying attention, which I presume is most of you, because of course, why not? You know that we've been leaning into the masters thing. We started off our year on the work-in protocol, doing 4 seminars on what it means to sort of balance work and recovery. And that sort of evolved over into a deeper conversation on masters. We've done a variety of seminars over the years with what we call our boomer athletes. We've got over 6 hour-long sessions inside the team on managing training, recovery, peaking, all of that stuff. But we really started to lean into that and started to bring some of those aspects into our training plans. And I'm very pleased to present those to you today in a brief summary. So what I'm going to do here today is talk through some of the highlights and the changes. Just for reference point, we update our training plans every single year, our core race plans, and it's part of the protocol of Endurance Nation. So when you're an Endurance Nation member or athlete, you always get access to the latest and greatest plans that we have. You're not using some plan from a can or something that someone wrote 20 years ago. You're like, I found a book, I'm going to follow it and do it. Like that works great for I don't know, religion or maybe upending all the technology stuff. I'm going to go back to the basics of marketing. When you're trying to be your best on training and racing, make the most of your training time, kind of pays to pay attention to the people who are doing the work, not only training and racing, but also getting out there and, evolving the plans, working with our athletes. The feedback mechanism is just part of how we operate here inside the team. Our athletes vote with their selections of plans. They vote with their feedback, and these plans themselves, in fact, were started in office hours. We do weekly office hours every week, and that came up and gave it to us. So enough of that, enough of the background, enough about how the team is awesome and why you should go to endurancestation.us/apply to try and join the team this year. We do have room for you to join, and there's still time for you to see a great benefit for the season. So check it out. All right, so let's dive into it. So how do we make these changes? Just as I mentioned earlier, I want to cover this because it's just so different than how everyone else operates out there inside the coaching space. Number one, we got feedback from the team. Like we actually went to the athletes who used the plans. What did you like? What didn't you like? What did you struggle with where you are? Not only do we have weekly feedback forms from our athletes and monthly feedback forms from others, we've also used the plans ourselves and then also just went straight to the athletes. Often we'll do a survey. This time we went live, got incredible feedback, took all that entire transcript and turned that into talking points for us to have our own internal meetings as coaches. So and brought that inside and we said, let's take a look at how the plans have actually worked out. So which athletes were our most successful? So we went back to our training logs inside Final Surge, our program that we use, and found the athletes who did the best, and not best in terms of the fastest, but best relative to their performance. Which ones, recorded inside of our forums? What were their best races? We went and found them, pulled those races out from the data perspective, and then took a look at the training they did. I'm talking serious research here, not just I like the color red, so all the workouts should be red. So we went through and did all of that work and came at them and said, what do we think are the best possible changes going forward? Knowing what plans worked, knowing how our athletes who were successful modified those plans, getting the feedback from the athletes themselves, and then putting it together. So about as customer-focused, customer-oriented as you're ever going to find in the coaching space. So what do we do for each week? And you know what? Before I dive in, I'm just going to sneak over because I'm going to sneak over and show you just what the plans look like so you get a sense what they look like. So here we are inside Final Search. This is our Final Search calendar for the bike focused plan. So as just a quick note, we have bike focused, run focused, and balance plan. So depending on which sport you're focusing on within the context of your multi-sport season. And yes, we work with our athletes on a 3-year plan to help them maximize it by doing bike, run, and then choosing the third one for their best possible race season yet. It's like we almost planned this thing out. So you can see grays are runs, blues are swims, greens are bikes. You get a sense of where they are. And you'll see a notes like, for example, here on this Monday, there's 3 bike workouts. What the heck? No, those are test workouts. And, it's either doing it outside, doing it inside with power, doing it either place with just heart rate. So we have those protocols for you there. And then we get into the different types of work that we're doing. So if you did do a hard test today, for example, you don't have to do these intervals on the bikes. You'll see there's optional workouts that live inside this space and so on. You'll also notice other key elements like we have on the weekend here. We've got our bike long and we kick off the week with our sweat test. That's right. So inside our training plan, not only do you have the key workouts laid out for you, but you also have along the way, you also have key milestone sessions. So there's a sweat test to kick things off. Later on, when we get down here, let's see here. We've got our challenge week here in week 4, which is a 5 to 7 hour ride outdoor session for us to kind of get out there and to do more work inside that space to say, hey, listen, let's get more out of this. Let's let's get more out of this bike and put ourselves into a place where we can really build some of that endurance fitness, a way for us to maximize your training time. Along the way, you probably noticed there's 2 runs during the week here. We're splitting your run. That's right. We do split runs, morning, evening, to build your run durability and avoid high fatigue for you on the run side across the board. Just another protocol of how we do it. We have like our aerobic sessions on Friday for those of you who are able to work those in. We have built in, not just the fartlek and progressive fartlek over time. We've also worked in what we call descendervals, which is a progressive run protocol early in the season, early in your race plan as well. So lots of great stuff inside the plan. So just as context for you, the plans are intentional. They lead all the way down to race simulation workouts for you. You can actually go out and do the swim, bike, run as a continuous day. You're actually going to do that in your race rehearsal in week 10. Just about 15 days out, 16 days out from your big race. You actually go through the motions yourself. Finally, put all the testing from the sweat test and the hydration to the pacing to the positioning to the equipment. All of that goes into place. So these plans are designed to help you be as effective as possible by maximizing our training time, but also by putting you in a position where you can be successful by following through on all the work that you need to do, right? To actually get to a place where you feel confident about what it is you're doing, and knowing that you actually have done the work, but you're also fit enough and you have the skills to do it, right? There's a balance there. All right. So what did we do? First decision we made was we're going to keep the rest and recovery day during the week. Those are Mondays in general inside endurance stations. Sometimes they're Fridays, depending on the week. And you can also swap them based on your schedule. We do put our athletes in the driver's seat since you have control of your training log. We really wanted to make sure that athletes were able to rest. We just noticed that the most successful athletes modified their schedules to make sure that the rest happened, not modified to make up workouts, which is what most of us do. We modify to add more work or to make the work work. Our most successful athletes actually modified to keep rest, which is a very interesting nuance for us to pick up on. Number 2, we dropped the double 6-hour ride race rehearsal weekends. This, I just want to, whatever. I would pour one out. Not that I would ever pour my coffee out for the double 6-hour race rehearsal weekend. This was a milestone, like just a capstone part of the endurance station training plans for so long, which was back-to-back 6-hour days. We took them from our training camps. We do training camps all over the country and all the different Ironman race courses. And we took those back because we said, you know what, the back-to-back 6-hour days in a group, not so bad. I mean, hard, don't get me wrong, like crazy, crazy hard. But there was travel on the front of the end of that. You were doing it with other people. You were able to focus on it exclusively because you were away. There were a lot of different ways that doing it in a camp environment was actually okay, but doing it at home in real life on your own, not great at all. So we dialed that back. And instead, we just do that one race rehearsal on Saturday, and then we followed up with another session on Sunday, much shorter, still getting the benefit of getting back out again, riding again, mental toughness, additional fitness. That's where the fitness is made. But at the same time, really respecting the fact that that's just too much fatigue in any given athlete's block. Okay. The next up, we reduced our intervals in our hard rides. And this was really hard for us to think about strategically, because for us inside the team, we think about fast before far, we think about using intensity deliberately. And so what we ended up doing was saying, okay, in the past, the workouts on the weekends had higher intensity work, zone 4, almost threshold level work or just sub-threshold level work for athletes. And again, by the time people got to Saturday, workout on its own, not hard. Workout as the culmination of a 5-day push to Saturday, it is actually hard. And then plus all the stress of trying to get the workouts in, it was just too much. And athletes could possibly do them, but couldn't do them for every single consecutive week. And we're struggling. So we dialed those back. So we took it from zone 4 and made it zone 3. So actually made it like what we call race pace plus, which is if race pace is zone 2 in an Ironman, or for most of you in a half Ironman as well, we're just going zone 3, which is just like 10% more work, which is hard, but not crazy hard. It's like zone 2 pace, but up a hill, right? So we say, okay, it's just a little bit harder. It brings you to the place where you can actually develop functional mental strength heading into your race by understanding what hard is and now understanding that what easier is, because it's not the hard you were just doing, but it allows you to also repeat that over time. It makes it much more achievable. So we look forward to seeing that not only result in a reduction in fatigue, but also better completion rates across the plan. Okay. What do we do here? Oh, yeah. We also got a little more strategic about the order of our workouts. Okay. So we had the hard bike and hard run built like as a block, like putting those together. But again, we noticed that athletes were skipping the intervals, like doing the workout, but skipping the intervals or modifying them down either by duration or by just like reducing the intensity. So we decided to space out the hard bike and the hard run to account for more midweek recovery. So you got like a little bit of a respite in between the two. So instead of doing Tuesday, Thursday, or in some cases Wednesday, Thursday with the back-to-back hard sessions and 48 hours of work, we've actually spaced those out to allow for more midweek recovery. Again, the idea being that if stacking them together meant you go 4 weeks without running into the fatigue problem, by separating them, we're hoping we can get you to 8, possibly even 10 or 12 weeks in a great place as well. Okay, which is fantastic. We expanded on our benchmarking events. These are new workouts for last year, and we're doubling down on them this year. Our benchmarks are opportunities for you to dial in your race pace a little bit earlier in the race prep season. One of the biggest challenges that we noticed with our athletes was they would train and they would be moving towards becoming more competent, like position, nutrition, all of those things. But their race day pace goals were still aspirational, and there was very little of a connection. I would talk to an athlete and say, I'm going to ride this on race day, or I'm going to run this on race day. And I'm pulling up the training log, looking at the data and saying, you haven't done that yet. Like how are you going to do the thing that you haven't done yet on the big day, right? What does that look like? That's just not how things work. So we actually set out to create a workout, a benchmarking workout. We actually get to dial in those paces based on your zones. It's got specific protocols, and we've actually improved the video and instructions for those protocols. So athletes can define that pace earlier in the race block, and then actually work on practicing and maintaining that pace across the rest of the plan when it's called for. So again, you're just getting more adept at managing that race pace effort. It sets better expectations for race days. It allows you to make better decisions early on about nutrition, about position, because that effort may sound good for 10 minutes. You did it in a workout on a Saturday. You're not going to do it for 5.5 hours or 6 hours on race day. What does that look like, right? So how do we dial those pieces in? And again, just empowering you to make better decisions by using your own data and creating plans that allow you to create the conditions to create it, and then follow it, and then implement it and learn from it. Most important of all. Okay. And then last but not least, like I really feel like, and I'm super proud of these plans, and my partner in crime, Matt Limbert, who helped me write most of the plans and translating them into everyone else's version of Run Focused and then balance plans as well. We have just to recap all the pieces that are inside the plans. We've kick off with our sweat test protocol. We do our functional test in week 1 for sure, because hey, functional testing, we need the numbers. But then we do our sweat test protocol, which dials in your hydration and helps you start to make sense of your nutrition right away. So you get 10 more weeks to do that, right? The next piece we go into and we say, hey, listen, we're going to do 2 race rehearsals, and we're going to really make sure that you're doing a great job of those. And they're just 1-day sessions. So you can really get in there and put the race together, work on your positioning, et cetera. We have guidance indoors or outdoors, depending on the weather, where you are, course conditions, et cetera, right? Great. Then we really made sure that the race pace intervals were more race pacey by moving it to zone 2 plus zone 3 instead of zone 2 plus 4, which is fantastic. Allows you to build some additional confidence along the way. And then we have key milestone workouts as well, like our over distance challenge day on the bike, an opportunity for you to go out and excel long-term at that. So at the end of the day, I really believe that our 2024 plans, again, run focused, bike focused, and balanced plans are fantastic. They're just really designed to help you be your best. I'm excited to roll them out to the team, to all of you, and make sure you have them. If those of you not on the team, you can still access those plans. You can apply to join the team for sure, and we'll let you have them. It's part of your membership. You have access to over 75 different training plans, all of our related resources, the weekly coaching hours and check-ins, the weekly digital check-ins, the monitoring your workouts, all the things you'd ever want from a coaching relationship for less price, higher quality, excellent mojo, amazing good-looking kit. When you put on red, guaranteed you'll be 10% faster right away. Forget those fancy shoes and carbon fiber plates. Join us here inside Endurance Station. Excited to have everyone be ready for this season and rocking and rolling. Those of you who are already on training plans because you're training for those early season races, my apologies to you for having this not be so early in the year, but I'm excited for what we're delivering to you. Reach out to us, let us know. We're happy to help you modify that inside your training plan calendar. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in for this special episode. Understand, when you work with Endurance Station, you're getting something above and beyond what the normal relationship looks like. Athletes just like you, we're committed to creating the best so you can be your best. Look forward to seeing you in a future episode. Until then, be well, be safe, get outside, have fun. Okay.